Hey, my name's Aiden, and I am getting into iRacing, and this is a video of pretty much my first day in iRacing. I would say, okay, it's not my first day, I put that in the title of the video, but my first day went something like this.
Fucking hell! What the fuck?
Clear left. There's an incident in Druids. It looks like it's Wallace. We've been called into the pits by the stewards for repairs.
Come and get you.
What the fuck?
And the next day I went back on and I did a lot better. I learned that you should not get too close to people who are weaving and things. And actually for this race coming up that I'm about to show you, I decided to start from the pits. So I didn't do any quali laps. I just started from the back and thought, okay, if I can dodge all the danger and all the shit on the track, because let's be in mind, this is D-class and rookies. So the level of racing, the level of driving is not too spectacular. So don't get too excited about, you know, some really intense side-by-side racing, but there are a few laps where I do make a lot of passes, a lot of overtakes, and I actually have to give a lot of kudos to some of the other drivers on this track today, in this race, because they did respect enough the space. A little bit of aggression here and there on the corners, late on the brakes and that, but nothing that you wouldn't expect from rookies and D-class, I suppose. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this race. I'm going to give some live commentary throughout the race, so yeah, enjoy. Starting at the back, I am alongside, I believe, Hyodong Yo in the red Mazda, and we've got William Charles in the black Mazda there. I don't have the best of starts, but it's decent enough to get me past Hyodong Yo and William. He goes a little early on the brakes, and I do get the inside of this corner, and I don't go too quickly. I could have had a lot more pace for that corner, but I decided to back off a bit because I see they are under heavy braking, and Hyodong Yo manages to catch up with me here, gets alongside the outside. I take the very inside, and I back off a little bit because I could see a lot of chaos is about to happen. Hyodong Yo does lose control, comes back on the track. I thought perhaps I'll pass him here, he'll stay off the track, but he does recover, comes back on the track a little dangerously, but because I backed off enough, there's no contact and we can continue the race. And I'm coming through here. I know this can be risky, even though you do get a good run here. It's not always wise to pass it, but I thought I had a lot more speed than Hyodong here, and I do have to respect here, he holds his line really well, especially when I come across a bit to the left to come take this corner. He backs off, and he avoids any collision, so I do get ahead of him, gain a place. As I'm coming into here, I do keep the inside line. I get a decent amount of pace. It's not the best cornering, but I didn't want to catch up too much with the blue Mazda ahead of me of Alejandro, and I thought maybe I could be a bit quick catch up with him, but I want to give some space on this corner because people don't take it very well. But because I do that, I slow down a lot. Hyodong actually goes into the back of me, and it causes me to lose control a little bit. I do manage to catch it, come back on the track, but of course it pushed me through the corner a little bit, through that inside, and the game recognized that I cut the corner and I had to give back some time, which means that Hyodong, due to actually crashing into the back of me, his mistake, I didn't get any incident points, fortunately, but I did have to concede the position. He gets ahead of me here, and I think, okay, well, no worries, just keep clean racing, no incident points on the board yet, and just really aiming to keep it clean, as you know, if you're in rookies and D-class, been doing a bit of learning, and you should do that. But I get a good entry into this corner here. I could have cut it and attacked the curb a little more, but I've got some decent pace coming out the corner, and that going off there is actually Miguel Hernandez. He goes straight into the wall, has completely totaled his car, and this puts us on a good straight here against Hyodong Yo. I've got a good bit of pace, and there's some cars battling ahead, and we always say you fight and you lose, and they are indeed slowing each other down. We get into a bit of a train here. Hyodong almost going into the back of a car here, might actually have touched him, and at this point I know I've got a lot more pace, but at the same time I want to be careful here on this straight. I know this corner is tricky, but I decided to come up alongside Hyodong Yo, and I do get the inside line, and I've got to give respect to Hyodong here to give me the space. He stays wide, and a lot of drivers, I think, in D-class, rookie class, might not do that, and despite him being maybe a little aggressive, a little late on the brakes in some of the corners, when you're alongside him, he did always give the space, so definitely big respect to him. And then on the straight, we're able to get past Alejandro as well, because we're carrying that speed through that final corner, and that puts us now up into 7th from 11th. And the next car ahead of us is Kotuku Sako. often one of my better corners coming in here. I've learned to take it quite well. I'm able to get on the accelerator early out of the corner. So you go slow in, attack the curb really heavy, even though it's a bit of a high curb. Can be a bit risky because you can lift your wheels. If you go too early on the gas, then you can spin your wheels a little bit, lose a bit of control. But after a bit of practice, you're definitely getting used to it, and that allows me to carry that speed up into this corner here where I take the inside curbs. He's gone very, very wide. I know I'm going to have a lot more pace because he's going to have to slow down so he doesn't cut the track and go out of bounds. He defends his position well here, forces me wide a little bit, and I think, okay, I don't want to go too wide here because he's cut it very close. And as I expected, he does come into the inside of the corner, but he goes a little bit too quick, which forces him wide. He ends up with a bit of understeer, and I'm able to keep my line, get ahead of him nice and clean. Next few laps are mostly, no traffic, just catching up with the pack ahead. We're catching up with third place, second place as well. They're very close. First place is a little bit further ahead of them. So we're just going to skip through some of this stuff as it's just some lapping. But as we can see, doing some fairly consistent laps, mostly in the 108s, a couple of low 108s. My best lap, of course, would be in the lap 4 where I did get up into fourth place doing a 108.47. So at this point, I realize I'm catching up with Wallace Lima and Tomo Tanaka. Wallace Lima in third, Tomo Tanaka in second. And I've actually been in lobby with Wallace Lima before. He was a very aggressive driver, and he actually crashed into me twice in that race. And luckily for me here, and unluckily for Tomo Tanaka, Wallace Lima's gone right into the back of him, towed his car. And it's a real shame for Tomo Tanaka because he was driving a great race, up in second place, got taken out by Wallace Lima. Fortunately, though, for me, I do get payback on Wallace Lima as I get to get past him. You can see all the damage on his car. He's gone straight into the back of him, just way too aggressive. And now I'm up into second, and really fortunate for me, unfortunate for some of the other drivers on the track. But I guess what I've learned from some of my races is, crash avoidance, collision avoidance is a lot of awareness of the cars around you and being able to sort of sniff out the danger coming. And when you got a player driver like Wallace Lima behind you, you got to give a little bit more space. Maybe give him the door, open the door, let him go, and then wait for his mistake, because the way he drives really aggressively, he's likely to make a mistake later on. And really, it's worth giving up a spot if it means you're able to finish your race. Tomo Tanaka, he could have, let Wallace Lima go through, and even if that meant not coming second, he could have still come third. But fortunately for me, up into second, and now trying to catch the race leader, but with only a handful of laps to go. I don't think I'm going to catch him. He's putting in some good laps. I'm a little bit faster, but only a couple of tenths, and he's about 6-7 seconds ahead. I do close that gap, but it's mostly just free air from here on out, and I do some consistent lapping. Well, that's the end of the race, and it's the end of my first iRacing video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. It definitely helped me out, and it makes making content even more worthwhile. Of course, I just enjoy doing this. I enjoy the races, and I like to summarize them. And it's good to show my friends. And also, if any of you there want to give feedback, give me some feedback on my driving, because I know I'm new to this. I'm not great. I do watch a lot of videos, and I learn from some other people around me, some friends around me that give me tips. But any feedback you see in this video, anything I'm doing wrong, anything you think I'm doing dangerously, I would like to know, because I want to improve my racecraft and just, not hinder other people while trying my best to compete. But yeah, give it a thumbs up, give it a comment down below, and hopefully see you soon. I'm hoping to get some more good races in.